Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It is Kunamani Carol, and today we are back with Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It is Kunamani Carol, and today we are back with another reaction to Salmonella Academy's Daniel Dancer, history's biggest cheapskate. I'm so excited to react to this. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Any suggestions, let me know. Here we go. Now. Oops, there. Now. Daniel Dancer.
Hey kids, you're probably familiar with at least a few characters whose obsessive penny pinching truly knows no bounds. Yes, from Ebenezer Scrooge to Scrooge McDuck. Nobody hoards
the same
money
character.
These guys aren't the most miserly misers out there, not by a long shot. First of all,
but they're not even real.
Hats, their extravagant use of glasses, their luxurious chairs. These things are worth precious shekels. No true miser would waste their wealth on such frills. Second of all, these guys aren't real. They're fictional. Scrooge McDuck does not exist. I don't care what CNN says. It's all liberal conspiracy bullshit. I mean, look at this article by the Huffington Post.
Sorry, it's 1%er spotted outside Los Angeles Cafe.
But you know who was real? One Daniel Dancer of London, England. Born in
I've never heard of this dude, so I'm very excited to see what he does.
Leaving behind a large agricultural estate for Daniel to oversee. When it was first inherited, the property brought in a few £100s a year, which doesn't sound like much today, but given that a general laborer could be expected to make around £19 per year in 1710,
oh
it's safe to say that
shit!
Dancer could afford to live a fairly
It's weird to think about like the old
passive
money
income
conversions
alone.
and stuff.
Dan was like, you know, all this food and clothing and stuff is alright, but you know what I really like? Owning money. Say, how much is it? Well, that's a complicated question, Daniel. Can currency really be said to have intrinsic value? Some economists believe that. TLDR, please. That's a lot. I better start saving. Thus speaking of one of the most intentionally frugal lifestyles history has ever seen. Let me walk you through a few of Dancer's day-to-day habits. First of all, soap, don't even think about it. The closest thing to bathing that Daniel did was during the summer months.
This man's nasty.
He'd wade into the nearby pond and scrub his face with a handful of sand. Say what you will, but what he lacked in organization, he certainly made
his face.
Admittedly, all of London probably reeked.
That is worse. If you ever get like one of those scrubs that have like those little beads in it, they're terrible for your skin.
On a good day,
even though they're like advertised for being great, no, they just like cut up the surface of your skin.
Streets and local dust heaps, looking like a walking dementia patient sewing circle. Similarly, all his shoes were either scavenged or Frankensteined out of other pairs of shoes he already owned. The whole ensemble being barely held together with haphazardly tied bands made of the hay grown on his estate. In fact,
so would he be considered like a minimalist then?
And just wear the hay. To his credit, in his youth, Daniel was known
I mean, that's kind of what they believe in, right? It's like using less as possible.
But one day he looked in the mirror and said, Daniel, you're bleeding funds like a stuck pig. It's time to grow up and get your act together. And cut his budget to only one shirt per year. One of the few people that Daniel associated with regularly was his sister, whom he lived with. Believe it or not, she shared in a lot of Daniel's tight-fisted habits, and it definitely showed. She was described as,
so it ran in the family?
More the appearance of a walking dunghill than one of the fair sex. Couldn't have said it better myself. Dancer prepared all of his food for the upcoming week ahead of time, consisting of only 14 hard dumplings and 3 pounds of beef stretched out over the entire 7-day period. Every day he'd eat only a single meal that was basically equivalent to 2 wads of dried out dough and 1.5 quarter-pounder patties from McDonald's. He kept this habit up for years without fail, except for one time when he stumbled upon a fully intact, rotting sheep carcass during his daily stroll.
It's rotting.
Like, this is just obscene. Who would leave a perfectly good pile of arguably edible meat in
It's rotting.
So he dragged the thing.
Oh my god!
A nice big pile of spoiled mutton pies.
I'm sure they diarrhea their freaking ass all night.
Right there. Who needs refrigeration if it's already rancid? Am I right? Despite Daniel's he did own a dog named Bob that he was quite fond of.
Did he eat him
At this
too?
point, I'm almost certain that Dancer just decided to base his entire life off of linoleum by no effects, which is pretty incredible considering linoleum wasn't even invented for another 100 years. Anyway, though, one day, Daniel's neighbor came to complain about how Bob had been harassing his sheep. So Daniel said, don't worry.
Because he ate his sheep.
But we don't want a lawsuit on our hands, do we? No, we don't. What would we do if a lawyer came around here, huh?
He is gonna eat him.
That's right, and make his children watch, yeah. So he decided to take the dog to the local farrier, which is basically a blacksmith that specializes in horseshoes and the like. Hey, could you make my dog, like, not have teeth anymore? What kind of business you think I'm
Oh!
Come on, man.
Don't do that to the dog.
For a living. Teeth are just tiny mouth hooves. That's close. Sorry,
No.
buddy, but close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. Well, got me there. Say, what's a hand grenade? None of my sources say what happened to the dog after his untimely nubbening, but I do know Dan never got sued, so I guess the operation was a success. Daniel's sister
poor
passed away in
dog.
1766, leaving him so distraught that he actually
makes me
went
so
out of his way to buy
sad.
mourning clothes for her funeral. And by that I mean he bought a pair of secondhand black stockings, and that's it. Still, that's a big deal when it comes to the likes of Dancer. At this point, the only person close to a friend that Dancer had was a woman known as Lady Tempest. She was so influential over him that she was actually able to convince him to buy, get this, a 1 shilling hat. This is Daniel's last hat was older than half of you at 14 years old. What? You don't. You.
Oh my god.
Of course, the next time Lady Tempest went to hang
All
out
these
with him,
animals that are dying in this video.
Question about the one he bought. He goes, "Oh yeah, that frilly old thing. Sold it for a 6 pence profit. Super easy too. I tell you, forget house flipping. Hat flipping is going to be the cool new thing pretty soon." Lo and behold, 250 years later, he was wrong.
Is that him? He's so young.
Daniel died at the ripe old age of 78, which seems pretty shocking considering.
Oh, how did he
not
live
used to
that
eating raw
long?
Food thing, but I guess his near total isolation. From
I guess
people
like
made up
there
for
is
that when it
there
came
could
to
be like
preventing
some
illness.
truth
Though he
to the
never
all
ended up
natural
shelling out
thing.
any of the massive hoard of wealth
I guess.
over this time. His efforts weren't completely in vain. By the time he passed away, Daniel's estate was now pulling in about £3,000 in yearly net revenue.
So what did he do with all that money? He had all this money and he never spent any of it.
Parsimony has its place. While it's good to save money,
And he lived
don't
like a
torture
bum
yourself
his
just for
whole
the sake of
life.
a few bucks. Next time your parent or significant other insists on turning down the thermostat or keeping the windows up to save gas, just say, "Hey, are we human or are we Dancer?" More valuable than money. Knowledge. That's why you need to try Skillshare.com.
Oh no, we
Skillshare
ain't
is an
we
online
ain't trying
learning community
Skillshare.
with over 23,000 classes in tech
Okay.
for less than $1.
That's the end of the video. I ain't watching that. That video was interesting. Those poor animals. I was very sad that he lived his life kind of like a bum to the very end just to save a few dollars. It wasn't even like a few dollars. It was a lot of dollars, and he never used it. He could have lived a much better life. But I guess everyone has their own idea of what a good life is, huh? If you enjoyed this video, remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Bye.